Yes, and welcome to Vasily's Garden, folks. We're talking flowers today. It's not something that hey! Oh, gotcha! You're a little rascal. Hey, meet Leia. Hey, one of the Star Wars trilogies. I don't know if I got that right, but anyway, she's the new addition to the family here. Vader's daughter. Get it? Vader, Leia. Anyway, back to this, and Leia has no control mechanisms yet. She hasn't matured enough yet to realise where she can't go, and she does get into everything. But when I'm standing next to our standard roses, we've got a few suckers coming up from the roses. We're not talking about those. We know what to do with those. Kill them or cut them out. But more so, these irises. This is one of the easiest plants in my books to grow, folks. I do very little, if anything at all. I don't dig them up. And they're a beautiful contrast to the white standard roses on top. And these are just blooming like there's no tomorrow. For me, they are. Well, I'm not sure anybody else who's an expert with the irises, how well they bloom in their garden. But I've got some here that are actually standing about 5 foot, 6 foot tall almost. So these are, waist height, which is a typical height of an iris, I believe. But the colours, only one. I'd love to have more colours. And I'm sure I'm going to be able to get some, or my darling wife will find some more bulbs for me to put into the ground. A little bit late now, but nevertheless, we'll start companion planting, a few more like that. Think about your flowering plants, and it's not just edibles in your garden, folks. Now, if you've got a small area and you've got flowers in there, don't think you can't plant a vegetable next to it. In fact, it's actually a better way to grow your veggies too when you've got companion planting like flowers. Maybe not irises, but other flowers like your annuals, your typical marigolds, and even herbs. Perennial plants that actually stimulate microbiome in the soil. The microbiology in the soil will populate even so much more when you've got plants growing in there that are there forever and a day, like perennials if you like, or even herbs that don't have to be replaced, or seasonal plants. Get your veggies in, get your flowers in, and if you don't want to have your veggies, well, make sure your companion plant don't have any space exposed in the garden bed. And what I mean by that is don't have the soil exposed. If you don't have mulch down in any form, whether it's a straw or a bark, make sure you've got additional plants in there, because you know what happens? Nature comes in and does it for you. Wherever you got spaces in the garden, nature will drop a seed in there for you and germinate a wonderful plant that we call a weed. Now, it's a weed in our books because it's grown somewhere where we didn't plant, maybe we don't want it growing there, and then we class it as a weed and try to eradicate it. Well, if you were to replace that weed with another growing plant that you like, whether it's a flowering plant, an edible, a herb, or anything of that nature, besides a weed, well, nature won't be doing that for you. So the more you fill in the garden beds, it's not overcrowding. Maybe it is sometimes in those landscaping worlds that I see in the commercial corporate world. They mass plant things, and on the basis that they may lose 30% of them. But in your home garden, you don't have to plant them that close. Keep them half a foot away from each other. Small plants and larger plants further away, but ultimately space them so that you can fill in all the spaces, and it almost looks like a cottage garden, but a bit more formal if you like. And that way you don't allow the weeds to germinate as they do in my garden, because I haven't done what I'm saying. And I'm working on that one there, but I've got, a team who are very busy doing their own thing in life, and me, little old me's got to do it on his own. The little whinging old Greek man, eh? That's what I am. Put that aside. Plant your garden, companion planting. Benefits the soil's life, benefit your plants, reduces weeds, reduces insect and disease population and spreading, especially when you mix the array of plants that you have. And that way you got a thriving garden with very little effort involved. All you need to do is this. And it's not playing bocce or lawn bowls, folks. It's spreading a little bit of fertiliser. Grab a handful, sprinkle it around every month, and I recommend our Superfood and Black Grit, and I'll tell you, your plants will love you forever. You'll find our products at all leading garden centres and hardware stores, and on our website, vasilysgarden.com, and check out 3AW if you're watching this little episode as we've just uploaded it. I'm there talking with Darren James live. Give us a call if you've got a garden problem, or some great tips that you'd love to share with the wider gardening community, and we'll love you too for that. From me, Vasily, Maresi.